model railroading fans. Welcome to Sky Manor Railways, aka Manor Rail. The railway is a model railroad, as you might guess. It's a mixture of O scale and N scale, and it's designed to be fully functional yet movable and storable, so you can play with your trains and then put your trains away when you need the space for something else. It's definitely a work in progress. There's still lots and lots to be done, but it's progressed enough so that we can at least take a tour and see what it's all about. So without further ado, let's take a tour of Sky Manor Railways. This main oval is kind of center city for Sky Manor Railways. It's built on a couple of doors, and this is the O-scale engine, which is Lionel. I've got several O-scale cars to go with it, or rolling stock, as they say. O-scale is 1/48, which means a 6-foot man is about 1.5 inches tall. And that's the one scale that we have. Beyond the cars there you can see another building. This is an N scale building. And N scale is 1 to 160, which means that a 6-foot man is less than 1/2 inch tall, which is pretty tiny. Here's the engine and cars for the N scale train. And as you can see, they're dwarfed by the O scale cars and the train behind them. But that's the basic concept. We have mixed scales, which we don't really care about here in Manor Rail. And the main portion is on these two doors that are stuck together. One of the things about a train layout is that it takes up a lot of space, and you can't use that space for anything else. It also makes it hard to move or store your layout if you shouldn't want to do either of those. So what we have, you'll see this seam running down the center of our layout, and that's because, like I mentioned before, this main oval is built on two hollow core doors that are secured together. They're joined together with this wood strip that is on the end, and it's screwed into place with those wood screws. And the reason that it's done in that manner is that the idea is if you have your track secured to the board and you have your accessories secured to the board and all your wiring is permanent, all you need to do is remove the trains and remove the cars, take these end pieces off, and then gently pull the two boards apart. Then you've got two much more manageable pieces to deal with, 28 inches wide instead of a huge 56-inch table, basically. And so the layout can be moved in its entirety or stored much more easily. And we've moved it once already, so we know it works. Your train layout takes up a lot of space, that's for sure, especially O-scale. So what happens when you want to go beyond your basic oval? Now, the way that we handle it here is we use trellises. So beyond the two main boards, you see the track coming out, and it is running through these structures. And these structures are homemade trellises that hold the track up, and they are adjustable in height. So no matter what height you have your board at, you can set your trellises so that the track can run at the same level as your main board. In this case, we have a closed loop here that runs through the trellises, and we'll talk more about that later. And then back into your main layout. So that's one way of extending your track and your train's run capability well beyond your main board, which takes up enough space as it is. Having things that light up and flash and move is half the fun of model railroading. You always want to buy accessories that have lights in them or move or do something. And sometimes it can lead to ridiculous purchases like the Lionel Constellations car, which is totally ridiculous, except for that it has flashing lights, so we can't resist. Anyway, in order to have all these things that light up and move and stuff work, you got to have lots of wires, and you don't want to have lots of wires showing on your layout, so they're all underneath. So now it's time to go into the depths of Sky Manor rail underpinnings and see what happens under the table. Welcome to the netherworld, the seedy underbelly of model railroading. What goes on underneath the table? It's good, clean fun, don't worry. But you've got the wrong perspective. That's the right perspective. Okay, now, this is what makes all the lights and groovy stuff upstairs work. And you can see that you can see the slightly different color of the two boards, and everything is wired, of course, so that when the boards are pulled apart, the wiring doesn't get pulled apart with it. And what you see here is a bunch of terminal strips here for joining stuff together, and these are relays that turn on certain things. Another terminal switch. This board here converts AC to DC because DC direct current is better for circuitry than AC is. More terminal strips to hook in power to things, and of course labels. You gotta have labels on everything, or else you'll never remember what's wired where, and you'll have to trace it every time you do something. Relays, we live by relays underneath here, because track sensors trip relays which supply power to things, and you have to keep the power separated and going to the right spots. And that's about it. This is all the good stuff that makes the flashy lights and really movie things up on the top level. You'd never think that there would be this much down here, would you? But there is. And there needs to be. There's going to be more before we're done. Most model railroad layouts are basically an oval. In other words, the train goes out in one direction and it comes back on another set of tracks in another direction. So it's essentially an oval. It always travels in the same direction, and whenever it has to go out somewhere, it always has to come back on another set of tracks. At Sky Manor Railways, we decided that was kind of inefficient. We wanted to be able to at least have the option of sending a train out on a long section of track and allowing it to then turn around and come back on that very same section of track, and still allowing it to do its loops and whatever it was going to do. So in order to show you how we implemented that, I got to show you how a switch works. And so that's next on the list. Let's take a look at switching at Sky Manor Railways. So here's a typical Lionel fast track remote activated switch. Basically, if the train is coming in from this direction, the switch says either take this way or take this way. And it can be activated by this remote here. It says go straight, go left, go straight, go left. But it also can be activated by the train itself. Now, coming from this direction, the train just goes whichever direction the switch tells it to. However, if the train is coming from either of these two directions, for example, if it's coming in through here, it will set the switch to the direction in which it came from, like so. Okay? And then if it's coming in from this direction, it will set the switch to say, I came from that direction. So what this means is, number one, the train will never get derailed because the switch is set wrong, unless you actually throw the switch while the train's on it. And it also means that the train can actually switch the direction of itself depending on how it comes through this intersection. Because if it comes through this way and sets the switch, and then it comes back and it goes that direction. But if it comes through this way and then it comes back, it's going to go back through that direction. So that's the crux of how the looping and switching works here at Sky Manor. I'll show you what I mean in a second. Now, in order to have one section of track that the train goes back and forth on, you have to have a turnaround loop, and you have to have a turnaround loop that can hook itself back into the same section of track. That's what this does. This starts off with a single switch right down here, and then the track is laid out just right so that it loops around and comes back right into itself. It's almost a feedback kind of a loop. And since I showed you how the switch works, you know that the train will come through and go in whichever direction the switch tells it to go. And then when it comes through this way, it's going to throw the switch in the other direction. So the next time it comes through, it's going to take the other way around. No big deal, just kind of fun. But the fun part is to have a loop that comes back right into the same switch, so you can just turn around and come back on the same track. And that's the main concept behind being able to use the same track in both directions. This triangular section of track right here is the other key piece to the sort of unique looping that we do here at Sky Manor Railway. This consists of 3 switches, and when these 2 switches are set a certain way, the train will just loop the inner loop ad infinitum and never move. When these switches are set to exercise the outer portion, what happens is the train comes down here. It then sets this switch to say I'm going straight, exercises its loop, comes back, since it says I'm going straight, comes straight back through here and straight around the loop. This time, however, when it gets over to this point, it takes the outside loop here. When it goes through this track, this switch here, it switches the switch to say I came from this direction. Then it exercises the loop. When it comes back, it goes back in the same direction that it came. So now it's traveling in the opposite direction, comes around the loop, goes straight through here, sets this switch to straight, comes around, comes back, goes straight through here, etc. So each time he goes through, he reverses his direction in the loop and reverses his direction in the oval, and he's the one that's throwing the switch back and forth to determine that. So you've seen the concept behind how you can have one section of track that the train runs clear out to somewhere on and then comes back on the same section of track. In reality, our long section of track is right there. It's just the one straight piece between those 2 switches. But theoretically, it could be as long as you want, and you're not wasting any track, quote unquote, because the train will go all the way out, do its little loop, and come all the way back. So when we have a little more space and some more money to buy more track, we can expand this to be as long as we want and make the best use of it. Okay, so now let's see how the routing works.
You're going to see the train go around, go out, come back in the other direction, blah, blah, blah.
Could be more fun than that! Enough theory, enough talking. Let's run some trains.
to ride on that New Delhi train. I'm riding on that New Delhi freight train. I'm riding on that New Delhi line. I'm riding on that New Delhi freight train. And I left my love behind. Left my love behind. I'm just a country boy without angels. I'm just a country boy without gold. And I've been to silver cities, a load of rainbows, where they say I pillaged and I killed and I stole. I'm riding on that New Delhi freight train. I'm riding on that New Delhi line. Riding on that New Delhi freight train. And I left my life behind. Left my life behind.
I give you the Springfield Monorail.
Monorail, monorail, monorail.
What's it called?
Monorail,
Once again.
But Main Street's still all cracked and broken. Sorry, Mom. The mob has spoken. Monorail! 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 Monorail!
Mono.